Hi everybody, welcome to the Orangeville House Prices Report. And this month we're going to be talking about a number of things that have happened last month. Okay, so these reports are usually 1 month behind the current month. So my name's David and I'm a realtor in the Orangeville area. And with this report, it's you're going to have to take this with a grain of salt. What I wanted to do, and treat this report as such, as if I'm looking over your shoulder and I'm there with you, and we're talking about the market and what's happening in the Orangeville area. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the report is it's general in nature, and if you want to get specific, we can do that. And what I mean by that is what's happening on your street, okay, in your neighborhood, is really important. There's more value in knowing that than there would be in the entire market in Orangeville. So keep that in mind as you go through this report, okay? And to one level is to get a pinpoint as to what's happening in here. There's a lot of things that take place to be able to make that happen. And if you're looking at value bringing it to the table, is one thing that I myself really specialize on, is really the marketing, getting as many eyeballs on your property as possible, and matching people up even before the property comes up for sale. So right as it stands right now, every month I mail out to about 3,000-4,000 people, and they receive our Orangeville Daily Homes video. And I know there's people looking at certain price ranges and certain types of properties, and so what we can do is we can match those people up. I mean, with properties, even before it gets onto the marketplace, if that's what someone's looking for. I mean, these videos have brought in about half a million people over the last number of years, and so there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of people out there trying to look and gather information, and that's one of the places that they find value, is being able to see online and see what's moving. They're very comparison shoppers, for sure. And so this chart saved a lot of people a lot of money. And understanding the cycles of where real estate goes. And so on the left-hand side, you have the average selling price in the GTA, and then across the bottom, we have the months. And typically what we've seen over the last 7-8 years is a typical cycle that a lot of homes sell in the marketplace. And as you can see, January we started off here, and we've kind of worked our way up into the March time frame. And so generally speaking, you pretty much get good value for your property in February. Again, there's a lot less properties available out there. And then we slowly start kind of working along for the year. Things kind of taper off a little bit in the summertime. Summertime peaks as well, and then you have these dips later on. Usually June, July, August, people start going away on vacation, and then it picks up again in the fall. So these are some things that can really help. So when I hear people in the media say, "Oh, the market's going down," you have to take that with a grain of salt. I look at it and say, look, March, we've had awful weather. We've had awful weather in January and February. It hasn't been what it was last year. Last year, we had tremendous warm weather in March and in April. This year, not so much. It's been very, 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 real estate's very dependent on weather. And so we haven't had the greatest time with that lately. And so that's where we start to see some of the trends kind of where they move and whatnot. So when I hear people, in the media turn around and say, yeah, the market is down 15%, what does that really mean? It means that 15% of the homes there have been less sales. And that is the biggest reason, is weather. Okay, it's clear for me to see. Now, mind you, down in Toronto, there's still been multiple offer situations, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over asking. And yes, it still happens even in Orangeville. There is a market for multiple offers. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a minute. So where have things gone? Where have things been over the last 6 months? So starting off with detached homes, you can see that we had 64 new listings in October and we had 36 sales. November 29, and we had 30. So we've had some really good months, even December 13 and 13. So we've had some really good sales, and then it kind of drifted and it's gone down a bit. In January we had 55 new listings, not many sales. 51 listings in February, we've had 25 sales, and so a lot of the sales to new listing ratio has changed a little bit since the end of last year. And again, honestly, weather related, it has a big effect. Okay, and so we're typically sitting with 42 days on the market for a detached home. Now, when you look over at the semi-detached and townhouses, it's a little bit of a different marketplace, right? So at the end of last year, we were basically, at about 100 plus properties were selling. Then we dipped down to 66. Now we're right back up to 100% of the properties have sold in these months. And so when you start looking at numbers like that, I mean, with 16 days on the marketplace, I mean, we look back in time, and that's like some of the fastest selling properties right now is semi-detached. And one of the reasons why is they don't come up for sale very often, and there's not a lot of them around. Now, we do have some new semi-detached homes that have really been kind of setting the bar with price, okay? And then you have a number of other semi-detached that's older, that may haven't had the upgrades that some of the other ones have, because the other ones are newer. So keep that in mind. And then with townhouses, again, we've seen the same thing. Newer townhouses being built, and older townhouses selling. So the price range really fluctuates. Just depends on the time of the market that these newer ones come on. But again, we're still seeing 100% being sold, and we've got an average day on the market of about 20 days on townhouses. Okay, so there's a lot of activity. There has been multiple offers on townhouses and semis. Even some detached homes have seen that multiple offer situation. So where are we at in the last month? So we've had 47 sales, 153 active. We're looking at a sales to listing ratio of about 31%, a little bit low. And again, I think that's with the market, with the weather. So I think over the next couple of months, I think we're going to start to see things change a little bit. And as you can see in the next one down here, we've seen 107 sales since the beginning of the year, 235 active, so with a sales listing ratio of about 45%. Okay, 33 days on the market. So it's still very active. And so one of the things that people have talked about in the past is, well, is it a seller's market? When is it a buyer's market and when's it a seller's market? So we in our industry consider 20% is considered buyer's market. Okay, so we were kind of getting low with the 31%. Okay, and then when you start seeing things up in the 50% range, that's where you look at it more of a seller's market. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, and then we've had some things that nice comments people have mentioned about us. And then over here, this is the report. So you can head on over to the house prices report, and we give you a list of what's been selling in the neighborhoods in the last 30 to 90 days. It's all there. All the information is there, and so that way you have an idea. But again, taking this to a level, putting everything into a report is one thing, but really when it comes down to reality, you really need to see the property. There's multiple real estate markets within Orangeville itself. So keep that in mind as well. So your real estate market may be different than somebody else in Orangeville. Again, because different properties, different areas, there's a lot of those things. So here are some three services that you can take advantage of right now. One of them is the free pinpoint price analysis, and this is where we can take a look at your property, and we can, we have some skin in the game here, and we want to be able to get a good value for your home as well. And so if it hasn't sold in 90 days, we have some skin in the game in that to help out. The one thing to keep in mind when you're going through this is, I've had people turn around and say, well, what is my house worth? What is the value? And what I've seen, and I used to give prices to people, but that started to change over the course of the year. And one of the reasons for that is because Buyers are the ones who are the ones going to be writing the check. They're the ones who are perceiving value, and they're comparison shoppers. So they're going to see what's out there, and they're going to compare from one to the other. And if yours doesn't stack up, they're going to move on to the next one. So pricing it's a two-way street. So you may have a number in your mind, but it's about matching it up to what's going on in the marketplace and knowing what's going on in the marketplace. That's a very, very big point. The next one is a room-by-room review, and the room-by-room review is something we come over. It'll take about an hour, and we can go from room to room, and we can point out certain things that could add value and certain things that would make the boat go faster, so to speak. And then there's the silent market, and that's the one that we talked about before. There's a number of people, actually a couple of hundred people that watch my videos daily, and when you look at that, and I know what people are looking for. I try to match it up before properties come up onto the marketplace. So there's a big pool that we're working with right now that are looking for certain prices. Some are in the 400,000 range, some are in the 300,000 range, and some go all the way down to townhouses and even land. So there's a number of people in that pool. So we try to do our best to match everybody up with newer properties, so that that can help. And again, we've seen thousands of views, so we know people are out there. We know that they're looking. We know that they're shopping, and then they reach out. So if you're looking to reach out and say, hey, how can I help you? All you need to do is shoot me off an email at davidwaters@remax.net, and I can reach out and help you out that way. Okay. So anyways, my name is David, and until next month, have a great one.